And so, on some stats, Lucasraps' career seems like it is heavily stagnating, more especially when the numbers are concerned, and stats are starting to maybe suggest something worrying, being that Lucasraps actually has very little relevance on its own, but something very confusing is whether or not Lucasraps ever blew up at all. But to start, Lucasraps has about 11 million streams in total, with close to 80,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, which of course wouldn't necessarily be bad until you realize that BLXCKIE, who's the guy that Lucasraps put on, has 10 times that at over 117 million and over 500,000 listeners on a monthly basis. So putting his numbers in perspective, there is a valid reason for concern, especially considering that Lucasraps' streams seem to have been accumulated mostly from his previous music, with his current music struggling because his daily streams on average are just above 5,000, unless if he recently dropped music, which usually results in a spike, which goes back to his average just a few days after. But also, to put this into perspective, a rapper like Usmamane averages about 50,000 streams a day, which is 10 times that of Lucasraps, which places Usmamane's daily streams to monthly listeners percentage ratio close to 20%, given that he has over 200,000 monthly listeners. But Lucasraps' percentage ratio is way below double digits, meaning that the majority of his monthly listeners don't play him on a daily basis, and it is very likely that they play his songs with BLXCKIE from time to time, which adds to his monthly listeners. And this actually shows because in as far as recent benchmarks, Lucasraps' songs with BLXCKIE and Nasty C dominate noteworthy milestones, with the only Lucasraps songs to reach 1 million streams on Spotify being either featured or collabs with BLXCKIE and Nasty C. And this really shows the hardships that Lucasraps faces when it comes to maintaining relevance, which also might explain why he was tag teaming BLXCKIE with Usmamane, because to be honest, that wasn't really a bad move, as Usmamane has the attention in the moment, with guys like QUO also tapping in. However, what is concerning is that Lucasraps was also offering Usmamane multiple slots in songs dissing BLXCKIE, which was disclosed in a statement by Usmamane's team, which may mean that Lucasraps is also aware of the fact that his relevance is waning. However, when it comes to Apple Music charts, Lucasraps has only one of his songs in there, with the other song being Never Ride Remix, which goes back to a point that Lucasraps only sees the spike after releasing music, then he disappears after. People seemingly don't play Lucasraps' music, with the only ones being relevant to date being featured songs of BLXCKIE and Nasty C collabs. But again, a noteworthy mention has to be his song Slide, which by Lucasraps standards is crushing it, as it is his closest solo song to reaching 1 million on Spotify. But the question I can't answer is whether or not Lucasraps' numbers are stagnating or going back to where Lucasraps was before BLXCKIE. To rephrase it, has Lucasraps blown up nationally, or was it BLXCKIE who blew up and as a consequence carried Lucas along with him? And this might seem controversial because yes, Lucasraps was known before BLXCKIE, but he wasn't as big as he is considered now. Statistically, Lucasraps' name might ring a bell, but his music doesn't, which might mean that Lucasraps essentially never blew up, at least musically. It was just his proximity to BLXCKIE. And of course, you have to understand that this is kind of difficult to convey because these stats are not in an understandable format, but I will have to use Ted the Don as an example. When Ted was still making music with Casper, many considered him as a mainstream artist or a national artist. But Ted the Don wasn't even an upcoming rapper yet, and this only became clear when he separated from Casper Invest, because at the time, his proximity with Casper made him seem like he was a national artist. But of course, you can also share your opinion. Is this the great stagnation or reversal of BLXCKIE gains? And the artist sponsor for this video is TSA with the song Stand or Some. TSA is a South African rapper and songwriter from Diepkloof, Soweto. He has been described by Scoop Makhathini as a life-lyrical dude. If you want to check out his socials as well as his musics, the links in the description.
Stand or some, you're my love, baby. You pick me up when I'm down,
baby got speedy. Hey, pretty women all up in the city. All I want is you from Exeni, Psugu, Nemini. Love it when you pull up all dressed up nice in a mini. Baby, you the one I've been looking at for a minute. Yeah, time heals all, I can feel it. Mina ngifuna when I do it all till I'm finished. Mina ngifuna when I nobody else in our business. Vele banomona and that's the way they be living. Hey, I just want you on sight. I just want you, you're the love of my life. I just want you to be set and alright, cause I'm down to do whatever for the rest of my life. So what you tryna do for the night? We got many things we can do that you like. We got plenty food, you can choose your delight. We can pop another bottle, set the mood for the night.
Sandra sounds